can get going. Coach, if you'll make an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Well, for the first time out in front of the fans in a new environment to play, I think everyone early on kind of realized, boy, there's a lot of new guys out there. Even for myself, being from the sideline, looking out there at times, I was seeing, you're seeing Trace and Joey and Armand and Denise and Jerome. And, those guys are relatively really new to what we're doing and what's going on in terms of the game. So you have to put it in perspective a little bit. Missing our backcourt, our most experienced guys, and even having Rob just for basically 3 windows in the game to play about 12 minutes is all we were going to have him for. Hopefully as they get back, that alleviates some of that pressure. As we felt through it, I thought at halftime the guys did a much better job of coming out in the second half, and the ball movement was way better. We had a lot of different guys touching it, moving it, and we were able to establish what we aspire to be, which is a team that can get fouled and a team that can play a lot with a lot of different guys out there together. Defensively, we have a long way to go. There's going to be a lot of mistakes and whatnot on the film, and part of it's experience level, part of it's the newness, and part of it is there was very little preparation or scouting for the opponent. So we'll take it all in and we'll get better, and hopefully as we get a little bit healthier as we move on, we get a couple more guys out there to handle the ball. But some good things. I'm not at all naive to think that this team right now is anywhere near capable or where it's supposed to be or where it can be. But I think I'm still excited about our depth. I'm still excited about how many guys we have and we can throw in there. I think they can really help us play, and our new guys continue to kind of help add some firepower. So we'll take the film, we'll work on it, and from this point forward, obviously we're ready to prepare for real action.
Coach, you guys fell behind there 29-28. I think you got a timeout at that point. Do you remember kind of what your message was at that point?
I mean, you probably had to start and stop with playing smart and playing hard. And that one stretch after about the first 4 to 6 minutes, we subbed. As we subbed, we had new players come in the game. And my hope is that when we sub, as you look at our group, there's very little drop off, there's very little change. And the game changed, with the substitution pattern. So we have to look at that. And, we just, we had, at times, guys that have not practiced or played the position they were playing in the game today. It's very difficult to do that at times. From a defensive standpoint, at times you look out there and you see, Justin and Jerome, those guys are guarding 6-foot guards. That's the first time they've probably ever done that. So it's a little bit where we're not applying as much pressure as you want to, but you're realizing you have forwards in there, guarding perimeter players. So the stickiness and the toughness that we needed on the ball wasn't there, especially in that run. But I thought our offense took care of it in the second half. Our offense moved it, and we were much more efficient in the second half, being able to handle the ball and do some things than we were in the first half.
Coach, Trey Jackson-Davis and Armand Franklin, their comfort was, for their first game, seemed to be very comfortable for their first start.
Well, both guys have been very, very good, from the first day on campus till now. Neither guy's afraid, and I think Armand's the one guy that even surprises me a little bit. He's been very, very good in our 2 live action games, and he's played out of position tonight for 30 minutes, and he hasn't learned one play. Playing point guard, but he started the game at point guard tonight due to what we have kind of endured here in the last 48 some hours. But both those young guys are good players, man. They're going to add a lot of value here. They're just learning. And you're looking out there and you're mad at them and you kind of get frustrated with them, and you're saying to yourself, like, you never probably really imagined that Armand was going to play 35 minutes tonight. It's like you thrust those guys in there, they get their feet wet, and the next thing you know, they grow up right before your eyes. I think both of those guys are competitive, they're winners, they're good teammates, and they're 2 really, really important pieces to what we've been trying to do, and they're going to play a big role on this team.
Coach, you had mentioned yesterday that Rob hadn't had a chance to do much this month, but you talk a little bit about what the thought process was to try to get him out there tonight for what you did?
He's had one practice basically since about October 4th, which was yesterday. So he practiced yesterday, which was very little restriction, and he did really well in practice. His comfort level with what he's dealing with from his abdominal injuries and whatnot was increased. But for us, if Rob doesn't play tonight or get a little bit of action, we're really starting to set him up where he's, we're not going to know how he feels after a game or whatnot. So the plan was to play him between 8 and 12 minutes tonight, which he got 13 I played him man 53 too much, I guess, but just the fact that he went out there, which was his second workout, basically 2.5 to 3 weeks. So it was just good to be able to have him get in there and help a little bit for those 14. Obviously, he's a big part of what we're doing, and it's really big. Devontae hasn't really participated, but even missing Al played a significant amount of minutes in our Marquette scrimmage, and not having Al was a big difference. Just in our team, he's an older guy, he's experienced. So getting one of those two back here in the near future, both of them back, that would really help our cause. But as you look at it, we're doing with what we got. And I think Armand and Demise playing a ton of minutes, which is good for them. They're learning. They're just getting a ton of reps.
Justin Smith, 18 points in 20 minutes, 3 assists, no turnovers, really efficient in scoring opportunities. What led to him to be that efficient in his time on the court tonight?
I think he pretty much didn't force anything. He didn't see any out-of-character drives. He didn't see anything forced. I thought his teammates did a really good job of finding him around the basket, especially in the second half. He was able to draw some fouls, and then he did a good job in transition, getting out a few times, which is where he's good. And we found him where he's able to do that. But he stepped up at the line, and obviously 8 of 9 from the foul line is a really big thing. He drew 7 fouls, which is a positive. We got to get Justin rebounding the ball a little bit better for us, though. He got 2 offensive rebounds in the second half, which was good. But in totality, in the whole big scheme of things, Justin has to be able to rebound the ball better for us overall. But he was pretty good tonight, pretty efficient, not very erratic or anything like that. I thought he stayed within the game.
You talked about how good you think this team can be defensively. That second half kind of start in particular, do you feel like just how important was your defense to kind of triggering some things, getting into the open floor, getting some easy baskets?
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about it. We spent most of our time as a team in there talking after the game. I mean, if there's ever a group that if they just hang their hat on their intensity level, their toughness level, and committed to the defensive side of the ball with our depth and size, that alone can make us a terrific and tough team to play against. I think the one thing that's a little unique right now is we don't have the quickness level of the guard that we're accustomed to on the ball. Rob played a little bit tonight, but Armand's a true freshman, and other than that, we didn't really have a perimeter player on defense. We have Justin and Jerome and Demise, those guys are running around with those little guys. That's different for them. So, but without question, if this team has a chance to reach its potential, it has to become an elite defensive team. It has to become a team, even with its youth and newness, has to become a team that can win with its defense. And if that happens, if we become a good defensive team, a team that buys in and believes in it, and is hard playing, a lot of the things offensively that you sort of worry about will take care of themselves. But no, that was the message after the game. The big thing with this group is to understand how important it is. Not that it's never important to every group, but if there's ever a group that can hang their hat and become a great defensive team, this team right here sure would be beneficial in doing it, because I think we have the talent and depth, and we have the experience level in some positions, and as these younger guys and new guys get better with what we're doing, it's going to be, it's going to be important.
You said that Armand hasn't been asked to play point that much so far. After seeing how he performed tonight, is that something that you might consider going forward with a larger lineup possibly?
I think in general Armand's going to be best suited playing with a guy with the ball, kind of running our team. You have 3 guys that have experience doing it. You keep it simpler for him. But right now, with what we're dealing with, I don't see how he doesn't continue to learn that role and do some things there. We're not going to be able to play with certain lineups, certain games. It's just not going to be as effective. You're going to have to play smaller some games. Some games maybe you're able to get away with playing big. But to me, keeping it as simple as possible for him, where he's really doing the same thing every day and doing the same thing in the game every day is good. For him to be able to come out and play a lot of minutes at the point, it sounds good, but for him, he hasn't really done that. So, I'm proud of him, because I think at the end of the day, he'll do what you ask him to do, and he works at it. But by no mistake is it by design. I think he's going to be at his best when he's with somebody.
Jojo?
Coach, I noticed that Joey Brunk started over Duran tonight. Is that a position he's earned as the season progresses?
Yeah, the team that started the game tonight earned it, without question, through 21 practices and a scrimmage game. Definitely, Joey definitely earned a role starting. But, like I told these guys, I don't necessarily count starters or finishers or whatever. I mean, there could be a different guy every night with this group, and I think that's the good thing about it.
Just to go back to Armand, I guess, He said he didn't know one play. How did he pull it off? Basically, how did he manage to get himself in position to get right and run the offense tonight?
We had a shoot around this afternoon and sort of ran through a few things for him. And he's smart, he's intelligent enough to know to figure it out a little bit here where, there's not a ton, and it's not going to run 1,000 things. And in the second half, to make it simpler on everybody playing out of position, we really didn't run a ton. We kind of just relied on our passing game and moved it, and I thought that actually looked pretty good for this time of year with that many guys out there. There was a lot of movement, a lot of action. We took the pressure, I think, off of plays, or I don't really know this play because I haven't ran it before, and we let them play a little bit more. I thought in the second half that really helped us.
You mentioned the 3 areas yesterday: rebounding, free throw shooting, and the ball. How would you evaluate how it was tonight compared to Marquette, growth-wise?
Taking care of the ball, I think, I don't really know the numbers at the half. I know at the halftime we talked a lot about our offensive rebounding not being there. We had a lot of guys with zeros, goose eggs there that changed in the second half. The turnovers, we had 7, I believe, at the half. We finished with 16, which is 6 over what we're trying to deal with right now. We don't need to turn over. Some of them are unforced and whatnot, but the rebounding total ended up being plus 14 on our end. But I think we're gonna deal with a little bit harder rebounding woes. But those are the things we're talking about. I thought the one thing that our guys did a really nice job with after half was the free throw discrepancy in the first half, them being 6 of 11 and us being 5 of 6. You could just tell right away our offense was getting 0 done in terms of effectiveness. In the second half, being able to get, I think, 24 free throws in the second half was much different feel offensively. It's a much better feel for our guys. They did a good job there.
Coach, not having Al and Devontae obviously changed things up a little bit, but how'd you feel your big guys all played well together?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're kind of, we have the ability to play small, whether we want to go with Jerome or Justin in there as a 4th guy around one. But right now we're kind of staying pat with Deron, Race, Joey, and Trace being sort of as a rotation. That can change. Right now with our depth, we don't have the ability to not have those other guys on the perimeter. So they did a fine job. I mean, we're going to play against more skilled teams. You're going to play against more perimeter-oriented teams where things can change. But that's where that foul line, that's where the post, that's where the rebound, and you have to be able to win certain ways. And one of the ways we have to be able to win is with Trace on the floor, Race on the floor with another guy where we're able to play. And I thought in the second half, more importantly, they were able to do that. Where we're going to get in trouble here early is going to be defensively. Covering the 3-point line with our front line and being able to cover out and be a little bit more pressure oriented. We're going to have to get better there.
Okay, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.